Meet Pastor Jummy Opedare, a devout woman of God, wife, mother, and entrepreneur. A God-fearing woman who has...
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Be on PRZ Radio 109.2 FM. My name is Jummy Opedare. I'm so delighted to bring this program to you wherever you are. I want to say a massive thank you to all our listeners all over the world. You always tune in at this time of Let's Be, where we bring different topics that we discuss, real issues that affects our lives. Tonight I'm so delighted to have in the studio my very own people. I've got Mr. T on my right hand side. God bless you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
I've got Sali, my beautiful daughter, here on my left side.
Happy to be here with you guys.
And I've got my consultant in the house as well. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Okay, now we are going to discuss about this particular issue that has been requested for this topic, because I know it's going to affect everyone in one way or the other. The title of our discussion today is really money and marriage. Marriage and money. I bet some people will be adjusting their seats as I've just mentioned the topic, because I know it's a very crucial issue in many homes, in many relationships, not just marriage, even before marriage. This issue of money is something else. And don't let us shy away from it. It's very important. We can't say it's not important. Money is important in relationship for the fact that it can control the things that we do and the things that we cannot do. If you don't have money, there's many things you cannot do. So we cannot shy away from the fact that money is really important. And that's why my wonderful people are here today to discuss this particular topic. But before we start, there's a scenario, there's a story that we want to start from, so that I hear their views, their opinion about this particular case. And the case is about a young lady who is in a 6 years relationship, and she's planning to get married with this particular wonderful man. And their marriage is about maybe they've set a date, they've arranged it, they paid for everything they had to pay for in the marriage, and they have been saving together. They've saved up to 80,000, less than 80,000 naira together, and 80,000 pounds together, because they wanted to buy a property. And the man believed that my proposed wife is a good financial manager. You be in charge of the money, look after it. We are saving it every month. You look after the money. And the lady has been so good until she started spending, digging her hands inside this savings. And she was going out, eating out with her friends, going on holiday, buying this, buying that, before she realized the leftover was about 10K. Wow. I can hear somebody screaming. I can hear somebody screaming their head off. From 80K to 10K, and you want to buy property, and you're married, and your wedding is in 6 months' time? I can't believe it. Now she's scared. She said, what should she do? How is she going to tell her proposed husband that the money is gone? Please, my people, what will you say to this lady?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that we shouldn't be too harsh on this woman. Okay. Sometimes you need a Louis Vuitton bag or 10. How many red bottom shoes can you buy, Sali, with 70K? Is it?
Yeah, one is like, what, 800?
800, yes. So sometimes you need 5 or 6 different colors.
Okay.
I don't know, I think she's absolutely ridiculous. How can you save 80,000 and you spent it on yourself and your friends? To be fair, to be honest, I don't know what I'll do. I'd go crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. But for me, my problem is with the man himself for giving her that responsibility to manage the money. And from what I understand, he hardly ever checked the amount. Yeah. Either he is a millionaire and 80K doesn't mean anything to him, which is why he left it with her, or he's incredibly stupid to not at least check on the progress of that amount. because he must have been silly not to be seeing that his fiance is traveling here and there, or buying this and that. So he's obviously not paying attention, and that's a problem in itself. So my problem is mainly on the man, to be fair.
Yeah, what there's nothing wrong with the man trusting his,
I guess
his
so.
spouse.
I would say so.
When you get to the point that you saved £80,000, then you're very, very relieved that you can get a very decent house. Your mind might not be into it. You might just be sure that side of things are settled. The wedding in this case study, it's settled. So you might just say, let's trust the wife, and they've been able to save 80,000 in 6 years. That is very difficult to do. So there must be some good income in somewhere for them to have been able to do that. So you might have assumed that she's been able to pay for things from other men.
But he's assuming instead of at least keeping in touch, or when his wife is going out on all these outings, he should be like, what's going on here, or even just once in a while, check the progress of the account or the status of the account. Is obviously not doing that, because by the time it reached 50k or even 60, he would have known that what's going on here. But I don't think he's paying enough attention. Now that doesn't absolve the woman for any blame, but for spending. But it doesn't look like the man is in any sort of control or to know what's going on, which is a big shame.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't really say who saved the bulk of the 80,000.
Exactly, it might be the man.
If I was if I was putting like, let's say 10k per year into that account, I will make sure I'm not spending.
Yeah.
That's my hard earned money. I'm not gonna deplete it down to 10k in the space of.
She wasn't even monitoring it. She just realized that
it was at that amount. That means it's personally, I feel like probably the man put majority of the money in, because your frivolous spending, that's a habit you just don't pick up. That's something that you have inside you. That's your mannerism. So you're not just picking it up. The fact that you have 80,000, you've been spending ridiculously, and it just happens that you had 80,000.
But what would be the problem of this lady? Is it because she hasn't seen such a huge amount of money before, or she has been like that in every little way, that she finds herself digging her hands in big money as well? Because this marriage is going to be in a big problem. I don't know how they're going to resolve this.
I don't even know if they're in the first place, because
they paid for the marriage.
They paid for the venue, but the first thing I would be doing if I was the man is trying to recoup as much money from that wedding as possible. Because if she can spend 70,000 of our savings, without consulting me or speaking with me, bear in mind I'm also blaming him. I'm not sure that I would want to progress further, because I don't know what she's going to do with money.
Wow.
I mean, she probably has other characteristics that he loves. Because there's no way you don't notice that your fiance spends big money. You probably think, oh, that's what she does. So hence why you probably don't notice it. But it's like she's eating into your 80k, but you're thinking, she does this already, blah blah. But you don't know where the money is coming from, unless she has a sugar daddy somewhere.
So in this case study, the woman has gone on a few holidays with her friends. In the case study, she's gone on 3 holidays. Some friends that can put a lot of pressure on you, and sometimes a trip to Miami starts off with
where you can't afford it,
well, she
at
could
the
afford
expense
it. She had £70,000
at the expense of their property, where they will live after marriage. I don't know what the solution will be. I don't know what we are going to advise this lady to do. At the same time, it depends on the individual that the husband to be is. Maybe he's a very forgiving person. He might not entrust money into her hands again. This is the trust broken, and he won't try it again, but the marriage can still go ahead.
So is this a red line then against getting married? Then if this happens, do you think that they shouldn't get married?
I think he should definitely consider it, because or at least delay to because the woman who he thought he trusted to with the 80,000, and I'm with Sally here, I think he put the majority of the money. She's obviously not thinking about the two of them, she's just thinking about herself. So I would possibly delay the wedding, try and recoup money,
because in the case study she did, some of the money was spent on shopping, on food, and sometimes goods can be a little bit more expensive than
Come on, let's not be silly here. She messed up big time, and I think for what she should do, she needs to come out and be open and honest with him.
Yeah.
She needs to admit her faults and realize that she's probably not good at managing money. And she needs to, you know, beg the man for forgiveness. And you know, if he's good, then he'll forgive her.
I mean, it begs the question, like, you know, when you're saving together, you have both have access to their accounts, you both have access to the money. Like, my opinion, he has majority stake in the 80k. But then when you're getting married or you're married, is it our money? Is it his money?
Whose money is it? Even in this particular scenario, I don't know what. She knows that is their money, but at the same time, she's spending it alone. But now, let's think about other relationship. Whose money should it be?
Okay, in marriage, if we're talking about marriage, I think the whole essence is to becoming one. And so I think it is our money. It doesn't belong to the man, it doesn't belong to the woman. You know, just in the same way that, you know, you've become one flesh, your money and everything that you own belongs to the two of you. So that's where I'd stand on that.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, of course it is. It is. The money is for the family and for, you know, whatever the family needs. Before marriage, it's a difficult one. It depends on how close you are, you know, in your relationship and how one helps each other. But, you know, some people have been burnt in the past, and, you know, they're going out with someone they think is definitely going to end up in marriage, and they spend so much money assuming that it will reach there, and they never get married, and you lose so much money and you regret it. So I think before you get married, there should still be a little question mark, a little bit of, you know, being sensible about how much you're devoting into the relationship in terms of money, you know. I think before marriage, it's my money and it's your money. Just to be clear on that, I think when you get married, then, you know, there's a vow and there's certain commitment that you've put together, you know, you've agreed to together, which is why it becomes our marriage. So then people shouldn't have joint accounts before they get married.
I would not advocate it at all.
Before you get married. I mean, I'm kind of in the middle. I think, like, even after marriage, you should have your money and our money. I honestly believe that there should be some kind of like
autonomy
in terms of like, okay, this is our money that we've got together, and this is my money, because I think it becomes a situation where it's human nature anyways, I believe, is that you keep watching what the other person is spending on. So if you dip into the joint account or into our money, you're like, why did you buy that? But if I know that we have so and so amount in this account that belongs to us, but I also have this amount so
that you can do whatever you want.
To a certain amount to do whatever I want, because I'm not going to go buy a brand new car with my money without like asking my husband or talking about it. But you know,
well, we'll discuss. We'll hopefully go into
maybe smaller things like
smaller
that.
things. So like, if I'm going to get my hair done, my nails done, I'm not going to be like joint account. It's going to be like my account.
I agree with that
sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, because you can't always be having to dip into a joint account for every single expenditure. You have to feel that you're able to do things independently as well. The only question is how you decide to share how much money goes into the joint account and how much money goes into the personal account as well.
Whoever earns more puts more.
Well, we have we
so
have our
it should
own way.
be 50-50 then in terms of how much money goes
No, he said whoever earns more should put more.
But, so if one person is earning, like, let's say one person is earning £30,000 a year, the other person is earning £40,000 a year, when they share the individual amount, it should be 5,000, is it?
No, it's apportioned according to your pay.
So we have to start using calculators to share money in marriage.
You do need that. You need calculator. You need things written down. You need to.
That the person who's earning less has less
disposable
income.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's fair, because
wouldn't that lead to a bit of envy in the marriage?
What's
then,
envy?
isn't it? Well, because, you know, you're saying that I'm earning a little bit more, so
no, but I'm happy that you're earning more. That means you can put more into it.
No, I totally agree. I think what we do is that we have a spreadsheet where we put together all of our income, we agree all of our expenditure, and then we decide out of what is left how much we apportion to each other. And to be fair, it's more or less even what's left that we give to each other, so there is no envy there. And we don't think about, oh, this person's put in more this month or this person's put in less this month. At the end of the day, after bills and everything, we probably have equal amount that we're allowed to do on our own individual stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
that's very good. I have to say, we don't have a joint account. We always thought we would have a joint account, but we haven't done it, and it's working okay at this moment in time. 'Cause I don't know how I'd be with a joint account. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I do agree with it, but
We definitely
not everyone has joint accounts.
we have a joint account. That's been the idea since, because I just feel like in terms of like household stuff, like bills, food shopping, because when I go food shopping, I buy a lot of food. So
Okay.
I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm spending this amount of food, but you don't buy food, so you're not going to spend it. So if it's coming from the joint account, I know that we're buying it together. And in that way, like, I don't know how much he has in his account. He doesn't know how much I have in my account, but it's not like a secret. But as far as there's money to pay our bills and buy stuff for the house, we're fine. Nobody's looking at each other like, oh, you bought this, you bought that. Everybody's very happy with what they have, kind of thing.
If you don't have any disposable income to yourself, you won't be able to give each other surprises.
It's true.
Yeah, okay,
have to-
yeah.
Because we know you want to take money from the joint accounts. What do you need it for? I
Well,
need
that's
the money.
surprise.
What do you need it for? No, you are not allowed to touch it. You know,
Yeah.
you've ruined all
Yeah,
the
no, that's a
surprise.
good point. That's
So
a good point.
I think
That is a
I
good
want
point.
to agree with that as well.
Yeah.
So who should be the financial manager in the home?
Oh gosh.
The person who's financially responsible.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
honestly,
that's true.
you're completely right. I mean, we laugh at this man for trusting the woman, but there's some, a lot of women that are really, really good at managing finances, managing all the bills. I know, couples that is exactly what happens. Even if the husband is making much more money, trusting the wife to manage the bills,
True.
because some women are just, a lot of women, I think, are just so good at being organized, being able to deal with all these things that maybe some men might think is just, oh, maybe I'll wait till tomorrow, to
Absolutely.
sort out. It's not a wrong thing at all, but you're right. There are also some women who are terrible, and it's the husband that is really, really organized, really good at managing these things. I know couples like this where the man is so good at being organized, meticulous. And that's how it should be.
I heard a story of a particular couple, and they both of them are not financially, they are not good financial managers, both of them, but one was worse than the other. So they were planning to buy a property, and the man was saving the money in the hands of the woman. Save this $14,000. Okay, by the time we need it, we change it to the currency that we need it in. And by the time the man will ask for the money, and she took it as if nothing serious has happened. Oh, what about the fresh fish and the dry fish I've been cooking? What about the snail? What about the snail? Please don't trouble me.
Oh,
$14,000. $14,000 was like that gone.
Problem is,
And they
women,
never
don't know
bought
how
the
much
property.
fresh fish is, isn't it?
Not $14,000. Maybe she's buying caviar or something. No.
You can decide to be eating fresh fish every day. The expensive one is every day. But you've eaten all your investments.
Yeah.
So maybe truly she's been using it to
No,
buy
there's
dry
no way
fish
she was
or
using it to
stock
buy
fish
dry
or
fish.
whatever. But the fact that you cannot plan your family, you cannot plan with your husband, you don't even think about what you don't have. And this is if you don't want a woman that is very sensible to spend money, give them in bulk.
Yeah.
All this money for me. From my personal experience, whenever my dad wants to build a house, he gives the money to my mother. This is the money for the house that we want to build. You will see the completion of the property. But if you want a woman to spend money, give them 10 today, 20 tomorrow. It will not be accountable. But say this £100, hold it for me. You will meet 110 there when you could ask for it.
With a good woman, yes.
With a good woman.
I mean, it depends on the couple as well, because I know, like, my parents, like, my dad is the financial manager of the house. He's very much, I think what they do is they have a joint account, but my mom, like, gives him the money and he puts the money in the bank account, and then he decides what they're doing with it, and that works perfectly for them. Like, she's able to dip into that and then buy stuff for the house. Like, she was the housewife for majority of our childhood. So obviously she was buying and selling, but she wasn't making the same amount of money that he was making. but that worked for them. And then he was responsible for like putting the money in the account. She was responsible for spending it, and in that way. But for me and my husband, we have a joint account, and then I do the spending. We both put in, and in that way, we're kind of both financially responsible for each other because we're both like aware of what's going on in the account. So what my husband did when we first moved in, he said, "This is our bills. This is how much we have to put in the account every month, so that everything is covered."
Really good, isn't it?
And then, so in that way, he was able to be like our financial manager. But in our day to day with the house, hold stuff, buying food, making sure that everything's clean, making sure that we have this soap, blah blah. I do that. So
That's good, isn't
what
it?
works in your
I don't think there can be a blanket rule. So as you say, it's whoever is best at doing
some
it.
men are better doing it.
That should do it. But for me, where in your situation, Auntie, where you are speaking about two that are really bad, I think that's where you need to both admit where your weaknesses are and try to build on that. So if you can get some sort of training and support, there are external support that you can have to help in terms of finance and budgeting and all and that.
Wow, this is interesting because everybody is so different, but the bottom line is that know yourself. Don't say you are whom you are not. Say, oh, I can keep this. Some friends are so good until you have issues of money. Some relationships are so perfect until money comes in. So own up and say, yeah, I'm not good with money. I've seen somebody maybe in a group and we say, okay, you owe the money. No, I'm not good with money. Don't give me the money to hold.
Oh
The person just confessed and say, okay, thank you for letting us know. No problem about that. And there's nothing bad in a wife telling the husband, I'm not good with money. Just give me what I need and I will deal with what I need. And the husband saying that, caution me when I want to go with iPhone, iPad, everything. They can spend their salary in a day to buy all the gadgets. So we need to help one another. So this particular lady, I don't think the husband knew her. They don't know each other yet. But even having said that, they can start to know each other from now. But there are some situations that people are so difficult to change. You have to put some things in place so that it will contain the person and won't go haywire the next time. So now we talk about having joint accounts, we talk about having separate accounts. Should your partner know what is in your private account?
You mean the PIN number?
The PIN number or the amount of money you have.
We're being real, isn't it? Practically now, most people are doing online banking. Most people, no one goes to the bank really to start to ask questions anymore. It's all on your phone, isn't it? So the question is really, should you know the PIN number for your wife's personal account? I don't know. I personally, I think my wife has told me before, but I don't remember it. I don't know if she remembers mine. I have to check on that. Maybe. But I don't feel the need to check what is inside my wife's personal account. I don't feel the need to check it. Just like I don't feel the need to check text messages on her phone or anything like that. I don't really go on her phone or anything like that. But everyone is a bit different. For me, I don't think it's necessary. I will say that.
To have access to
know the PIN number for your wife's personal account. I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it.
What are you going to use it for?
To withdraw money and to spend.
Okay. I know the PIN number for my wife's bank card. But I need to check in to be looking at.
To be looking at monitoring. No, I don't think you need to.
On the phone.
No. I don't think you need to be monitoring.
I mean, you're married and you're one, but I think that it's, even in marriage, I personally feel like it's still good for individual people to have their individual things. I mean, you're still your own human being and you still want your own privacy in a sense. Like, you still want things to yourself. I mean, you're married and stuff, you're one. But you still want, like, okay, I know that I have like £10,000. Like,
where's it come from? Oh God!
If you have £10,000, you need to declare it.
I think we need to know about this.
You need to declare it before your husband think, where did that 10,000 and start to work it out.
But you know what's in your account. You doesn't need to go.
But that's interesting though. If you manage to like save a lot, 10K of your own individual kind of. At some point, at what stage should that go into the joint kind of so you can do something big together with it?
personally, if I'm saving, I'm a very good saver.
Yeah.
I believe. Like I was able to save a lot of money for our house in a short period of time, and I'll just this is how much I have. Cool. And then if we need to buy something, because what else am I saving for if not for us?
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
But we can spend it out of the where it's coming from.
When you're ready.
I think someone needs to know your PIN number.
Not you.
Okay, now we have two men here. Is there anything wrong with your wife making more money than you?
Oh, definitely not.
I welcome it.
I really want that.
Problem. I don't mind it at all.
Because some men are very jealous.
I hear that.
They feel so insecure. They want to stop the woman from working. They want to block her ways. They discourage her. They start to pick up on fights that is not there because the woman is making more money.
No, I agree. And you know where I think that comes down to is control. Because whether we like it or not, finance, and I think this is what has happened historically with men having so much control over women, is that they're the main breadwinners and they're the ones that had control over money, and that automatically means you have control over the house and whatever happens there, which is why they probably feel a bit insecure when a woman is making money or even making more money than them. For me, as I said from the beginning, as long as we have that joint understanding that whatever is mine is yours and what is yours is mine, then that is not a problem at all. Is if you're trying to almost, I don't know, maybe oppress or with your money and spend money.
That reminds me of another story.
That's where I feel that there is an issue. But make more money. That's great. It's for us.
Oh, let me tell you this story. You will pity this man. When I was doing home delivery, food delivery, I was selling. Then I went to this couple's house, and the woman was the person making more money, and she was going to pay me the fee for the stuff I brought, and she called the husband, "Come here, where's my card?" And I was like, where should I hide my face in this place? And the man brought the card and the receipt from the cash machine, and the lady looked at it. Who told you to withdraw this much?
Oh my God.
You see what I will do to you. I was like, who is the man in this house? Who is, even if you are making the money, you should not disrespect your husband. Why I am standing in front of you? I felt so, and I lost my respect for the woman. I lost it. I was so upset. You don't have to show me that you are the
but it's okay. Yeah, it's easy to say that because with money comes power or a bit of authority, and that humility that has to be there. But in the same way, when the man is making more money, it doesn't mean you have to lord it over your wife as well. It doesn't mean that she has to be your slave or your servant because it do happen.
I think that ends up being a problem in the majority of cases. In many cases, men are making more money than women because of different reasons, rightly or wrongly.
And so the man will claim the ownership.
It has to work the other way around as well.
Yeah, and the man will start to claim ownership. I'm the man of this house. Well, what is the meaning of that?
I think it's just very important to know who you're marrying before you marry them. Know how they are when they have some sort of advantage, in quotes. So money or power or like strength. Just know who you're getting to this forever.
Just a bit of caution on that. I don't think you can fully know before you get married, and certain situations will arise within, and things are always changing.
Dynamics change as well. One minute the wife might be making more money, the next minute the husband, and then it can change 2 or 3 times. What is interesting is how people react when the dynamics change.
Exactly.
So if your wife suddenly starts making a lot more money, relax, enjoy yourself, and don't get stressed about it. If you have to wash 1 or 2 more plates, then do that happily.
I think that's where the problem is, though. Is where the wife is earning so much more, and you're not contributing. That's where I think the problem is, and where you should probably try and set up. And I know that situations might happen where the man might lose his job or whatever, or might not be without money, but he should, I think, be trying to bring in a certain amount into the house.
Yeah, it depends on how the woman make the man to feel as well. If the woman makes the man to feel that he's useless, you have forgotten that this is a phase. The phase will still change. If you make him feel that, because you are not bringing anything, you are so useless, you are this, and you want to take the authority of the house.
Yeah.
That's when the problem starts.
Is there-
And when the situation shifts, then the man too will take authority, you know, but start to retaliate and, you know.
I personally think like it depends on. I'm not trying to say a woman should behave a certain way towards her husband if she's earning more money, but I feel like if your wife is earning more money and you don't immediately just start putting that much effort in to be like, okay, you're working a lot more hours, you're doing this. I'm gonna start taking care of the kids more. I'm gonna start taking care of the house more.
Yeah.
Making those decisions without being told. In that way, she doesn't have enough. She doesn't have anything to be like, oh, you know, she doesn't have nothing to be like, oh, you didn't, because it's already done.
Is it the amount of money that you're bringing in that should determine who looks after the kids?
No, I'm just saying, like, because in most situations where men are earning more than women, women end up
Doing everything
in the house, most things in the house. Let me not say
But is it because they're earning more money or because they're ending up working longer hours?
They're
or things
working
like
longer.
You're working the same hours. Even if you're working the same hours, you're working 9 to 5 and working 9 to 5, you're bringing in more money.
No, I'm not having it.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not having
I
it.
feel like-
If you're making
No,
if you're working the same hours,
If you're working the same, there's people who work the same hours who earn the same who
You know-
earn more than people.
You know,
Yeah,
the
and
thing
so-
is that they should continue their both responsibilities in the house.
Yeah.
The man should not, because I'm not working, oh, I'm depressed, I won't do anything. Or the woman should not, because he's not working, I need to load more responsibility. Let him take it
I think
himself.
we take
okay, no, but I want to
ownership
know
of the
if you're working the
responsibility.
same amount of hours doing different jobs, but
But
one
one
job
is-
gives more money than the other. Does that mean the husband should
No,
start
no,
doing
that's not
more,
what she's
more,
saying.
more?
Should be- I said-
That's what
No,
I got.
no.
I'm saying if she's working
That's
longer
what I
said.
hours, I said if she's working longer hours, she's doing more
No,
work.
if they're doing the same hours and the wife is making more money.
What my point was that.
That's my question.
my
No,
point was
if
that
the husband wasn't working, that's what she
I said
was
if he wasn't
talking.
working, she's working longer hours, she's doing more work, she's come back later, then that way he's
And the husband is at home.
But I'm saying in the situation where they're working the same hours, I'm saying currently, if a man is working the same hours as a woman, it's more likely, I'm not generalizing, I'm just saying that the woman is doing more work in the house.
Okay.
It's more likely, more times than not, the woman is coming home, she's doing the cooking, she's doing the kids, blah blah. But I'm saying I'm just saying in the flip situation of now, but I'm saying if she's working longer and working harder and you're home like a couple hours before her, don't just sit there and wait for her to get home.
No, I hear that. But if you're working the same amount of hours, making different money, does that mean that the person making more money should do less house?
No.
In
No.
that situation,
Alright, well, that's another conversation.
No, it's
I
not.
think.
It's not about the money that you will do.
Well,
the
that's what I
household.
want to know.
Because
Yeah.
you might be working less hours and making more money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So-
that
Exactly.
wasn't my point though.
Well, I just want to know.
I was emphasizing on the longer and the harder.
Oh my God. So we have concluded that there's no issue in the woman making more money.
Not at all.
As long as it depends on the inner interpretation of individual. We don't, if you feel insecure, even if the woman is not making money, you will still have an attitude. Is it that this way or that way? So, and if the man is making more money, if you are not making money, you will still have attitude. So we need to balance our emotions in terms of all these things. So now, in the case where the woman is the housewife, she's not going out, she's doing everything in the house to keep the house clean, to look after the children, to look after the welfare, to sort the bills out. Should she be having a maintenance allowance?
Yes.
Oh, what is that?
What do you do with the maintenance allowance?
What is
Because you
that?
still have to take care of yourself. Just because you're a housewife doesn't mean you don't deserve to get your hair done. You don't get your nails done, eyebrows did, everything on fleek.
Okay.
Everything on
In maintenance, what is that? So what are you maintaining? So your
Maintaining
eyebrows,
herself.
eyebrows, and the hair.
Looking good, going to the gym, making sure you look nice for yourself and your
Okay.
husband. I get it.
You get
Okay, well, how much is the maintenance?
So
amount
what's
there?
a reasonable
Depends
amount?
on you and your husband. If your husband is making, let's say, £1,000 per year,
Yeah.
£100,000 per year,
Yeah.
maybe like 5,000 a month.
What? did you calculate that properly? What are you maintaining with £5,000?
I mean, your lifestyle is different. You can't compare. I can't say how much it should be. I'm just being ridiculous. I'm saying if you're earning 30k, it's different from if you're earning 1,000.
No, I hear what your point is.
100,000.
I hear what your point is. Yeah, there should be a
So, but we all agree that a woman should have a maintenance allowance.
100%.
Okay, well,
Well,
we have to talk about
I think everyone needs to maintain them. I think everyone needs to
What
maintain
about the life
themselves.
maintenance? I want to
You know,
maintain
in this
myself.
situation now, the man is the only one bringing in money.
Yes.
And the joint account is the man that is putting money
Very
there.
joint.
So it's in both your name is the man. If he decides to put money there, he puts it there. If he doesn't want to, well, at least the bills are covered. Everything is covered.
Alright.
But you remember that we discussed that you should have some money to yourself, that you want to do your own thing. In this situation, where does she get that from?
She can only get it from one place unless she's stealing. It has to come from the husband.
And that is the maintenance allowance.
Yeah, depending on what the husband feels is reasonable to maintain himself.
I feel like it should be a joint. It should be a discussion. As you're like you said before.
Yes.
Just because you're making more money doesn't mean you should lord your power over your wife.
I
And
agree.
it's still our money.
But we don't understand the different costs of eyeshadow and all of these things. We have to really have a proper
But then
conversation
that's-
about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
happy wife, happy life. Yes, not saying happy husband, happy life as well.
Yes.
But
Okay.
then your wife feel like, okay, I need this, and this, reasonable, so that I feel like I'm good in myself.
But that's fine. But you were talking about £100,000.
No,
The
she was-
what will make you feel reasonable is more.
She was
Now I was saying
joking.
you can't say what is a reasonable amount.
Depending on your
Depending on how
expenses
much.
and
Okay.
other things
If
that
you're
you.
living a life like Kanye West,
But
you can't say like.
If you want a happy
Yeah.
wife,
Yes.
don't let your wife come and ask you for money for sanitary to wear, money
No,
for eyebrow,
no.
money for lipstick, money for this. I want to go to Woolwich. I need £5. I need £10.
But I think-
the woman will not be a happy woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think then, though, just pushing it a little bit, that the woman should try and work?
Oh,
No, that's not the point.
that's not the.
That's not the
If
point.
it's the agreement,
If you don't want to see,
it's not about.
You have to be in this day and age. Childcare can be ridiculously expensive.
It's not about
If you
our
have,
choice
if you
not
have
to
triplets,
work in
if you
this
have
situation.
triplets,
Yeah.
and you want to do childcare, that the cost of that is much more than if you have just
A job.
one child, and it might make more sense for you to just be at home than actually to be working. So it's not it's not black and white.
Yo, in this particular situation, not that the woman decided not to
Okay,
work.
then that's fine.
just
That's
that.
fine.
Yeah,
As long
if
as
it's a lazy wife that doesn't want to work, doesn't want to do
that's-
anything,
yeah.
she will bear
That's-
the consequences of
Yeah.
being lazy.
Yeah.
You will give her, if she needs £20, you give her £10. She can't complain because she doesn't want to work. People do hard work to get money, but if she has decided that I'm not doing, but somebody that left her career, left herself to look after the family, she needs to be treated nicely.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
The same thing with the man. If it's the man is the stay-home husband,
Yeah.
he needs to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
stay-at-home husband.
Yeah.
The head of my department, she's an actuary, so you can only just imagine how much she's making.
Okay,
a lot
good
of money.
job.
So her husband stays at home with their 3 kids. He cooks her, like sometimes she's like, I have to leave, my husband's cooking dinner, I have to make sure that I'm there. No, because
I don't
it
mind
shows-
doing this,
It shows
you
that
know.
you appreciate the things that he's doing in the house.
Michael, sometimes I don't know, maybe you've boiled a bowl of rice before.
I can make spaghetti bolognese very well.
No. I think I can't make a judgment on every relationship, but I would suggest that a man should try and bring something in as well.
But that's
Yeah.
what he's bringing in. Let's not.
He's
say
not
that-
bringing in anything.
No,
He's-
but he is. He's very important in the life.
It's
of her
better
and her
for
kids.
him to stay at
I
home
just know.
than the wife.
Yeah.
I just know that with money, there is almost that. It's natural that there is that power aspect
for
with it.
everyone.
I know you can say not for everyone, but I just know that he's now going to be the one that is asking for maintenance allowance. And men, whether you like it or you say he's not asking.
Of course, what he has to maintain as well. You know.
That's what Pastor Jimmy said. You shouldn't have to ask if it's in your joint account. It's not like, oh, I'm taking 1,000 rand and I'm not letting you know. But it's like, it's there if I need it. I don't have to be like, oh, please, can I make sure I buy some blah blah blah.
No, but if you want to spend a little bit more, then you're going to have to go to the wife to ask for a little bit more. And I just think that men have a certain ego that would
It's
make
difficult.
it difficult to be a stay-at-home husband. And I know, well, I think there is that inevitable power kind of aspect to having money that I would make it, me personally, find it difficult to be a stay-at-home husband.
Okay.
Okay, now let's quickly talk about this. How do we save? How do we save
Vigorously.
as a family?
I mean, if you have a goal in mind,
Yeah.
it's easy to save in that case. So when we were trying to buy a house and we knew that we needed a certain amount of money, it was I think, very easy for us to save in that case. I mean, I was living on a certain amount of money a month, and I was like, wow, I didn't know I could live on this little. But you just know, like, I'm trying to buy a house by the end of this year, and this is how much I need. But when it's like kind of like ambiguous, like I'm just saving. But you have to be strict with yourself. Like every month, I make sure I put money in my savings account before I put money in the joint account, then I put money in the savings account, and then I put money, let's say, in my ISA, and then whatever is left is there for me to spend. So I make sure everything is covered. Then I will spend the rest, and then if there's something left at the end of the month that I haven't spent, I'll put that in my savings, and it will start again next month.
I think that's excellent. The only thing I would, comment on that is my. Should you have joint savings, whereby?
What is the personal savings account? What is that towards?
No, I'm saying. I wanted a joint savings account.
I just want to know what the personal savings is for.
Was necessary.
What is the personal savings going towards?
If we need to buy a car or something, if we need to buy.
Okay, that's good.
No, but it's my savings account because my husband doesn't want a joint savings account.
That's fine.
So that's why I said it's my savings account.
Okay.
But it's a joint account.
Yeah.
The ISA, we had like a Help to Buy ISA that you use towards the house, and then you have a life ISA that you can use towards pensions and stuff like in the future. So that's why I said mine.
Okay, that's fine. No, but I totally agree with what you're saying.
Okay, what do you think about secret projects? Your husband is doing something you don't understand, you don't know. Your wife is building a house, you don't even have a clue. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that it creates tension and problems in the marriage if you're keeping secret projects, like, all of a sudden next year you find out your wife has built a house and you didn't know anything about it. Oh my gosh, that is very, very difficult situation, and it boils down to lots of different things, and ultimately it's the trust in the marriage, because if you're keeping something that secret, a secret project like that, then it has an issue with the trust that's going on between the two people, isn't it?
No, yeah, I totally agree. Would be against secret projects or buying big things. The only kind of secret stuff, if you're planning a surprise wedding or something. Birthday, wedding. No, actually, that would be terribly bad.
Surprise wedding would be a bad project.
Surprise birthday.
Birthday, I meant. Maybe you might want to do another wedding with your wife.
Maybe your wife is trying to build a house to surprise you.
No.
You're not having that.
Mostly in her name. I don't agree with any kind of when you're buying big or doing big. I think it's meant to be a decision of both parties, because that affects a lot of things financially for both parties. So I think it's a big no-no. It's a red flag.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. The time has gone. With I think everyone that has listened to us, we're talking about marriage and money. Thank you for listening. If you want to listen over and over again, you can go and download it on SoundCloud. And if you have any question from what we have discussed, please don't forget that you can email it to us on letsbereal@plzfm.com. letsbereal@plzfm.com. And if you have any other topic that you want us to bring on here, please email it to us. Thank you, Mr. T. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Dr. Kende. God bless you all. Thank you so much. And thank you to all our listeners. Stay safe.
Opedare, a devout woman of God, wife, mother, and entrepreneur. A God-fearing woman who has devoted her time to ensuring that God's message is used to empower everyone, but most especially women. With a strong belief in the importance of women empowering women and educating each other through our life experiences, she is the founder of Women's Forum, Let's Be Real, a forum for women to work through issues and set and accomplish goals together. Held every second Friday of every month at 6 Elton Road, Lee Green, London. Keep up with Let's Be Real here on PRZ FM every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.